Hello, and finally welcome to Amateur Hour. We finally came up with a name only 15 weeks into this fucking thing. How's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Great.
Firing on all cylinders, Bryant. How about you?
Oh, you know what? I think everyone has slowly found out the trend of our running on all cylinders is us running 10 minutes late or having a technical difficulty issue. But you know what? When you buy a $300 laptop from Walmart 6 years ago, these things tend to happen. So,
If you're looking for technical difficulties, don't you worry. There will be no shortage of those tonight.
yeah, if you want to feel superior with your technical knowledge, just watch our pod, listen to it. It's a good time. So,
You think a group of people that want to grow a business out of creating content would have spectacular computers and stuff? Nope.
Hey, I'm not going to give away the name of my computer because I don't want to bash them, but the initials are Hewlett Packard HP. So I mean, do with that if you will. But I'm going to tell you, my on microphone and camera, they've been working the whole time. So thank you, Walmart, for that.
You go to Walmart, you get yourself on brand anything, you'll love it. When's our sponsorship coming from Walmart? Come on.
On microphone, you'll love it or it's cheap. So,
And you'll probably love it because it's cheap.
Exactly. So we appreciate everyone joining us live or listening to us on the pod on Friday. So we do appreciate that. Boys, what are you drinking?
Water here, baby. Got a big flight in the morning.
Water?
Gotta get up. Yep.
Nice. Clark?
Got a beverage. It's apple juice.
Oh,
I saw the color of it and thought you're drinking a beer.
No, just a little juice.
Apple juice sounds good.
Yeah.
Trent, little Bush Light there? Little Bush Latte?
Bush Light. There you go. Corey Yeager's
Nice.
drinking some vodka.
Good. Oh, God, that means he's going to be rambunctious here tonight. And then,
So-
go ahead.
So I was going to say, talking about drinking tonight after work, met a couple of coworkers at Pave. It's a bar downtown, nice place downtown Sioux Falls, and had an old fashioned. I'd never had one before.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It-
How'd you
they're
like
good.
it?
I liked it. Really good. Yeah. I just never have the stuff to make them at home. Like I'll have the bourbon at home, but not the bitters and all the other stuff. But yeah.
They'll flip the bird to old Jaeger
Yeah.
because I was about to say, Trent, I accidentally overfilled my Crown and Coke, but I don't know if it was an accident after watching this Cyhawk game.
Ugh. Numb those feelings there, Brian.
Every time I hear
seriously-
about old fashions, I think of the South Park episode where they're just getting hand jobs.
I would prefer that old fashioned before a drink of old fashioned. It's not my cup of tea.
So while we were there, so I got to tell a story here. So it was me and a couple of my coworkers, and then one of my coworkers knows some of Katrina's coworkers. So then they showed up. Well, one of them claims to be our biggest fan, Pulse of the Heartland, #1 fan. So I said, prove it. I said, I'll give you a shout out, Stephanie. And then within 10 minutes, she has to respond on Facebook, YouTube, in the comments, or she's not the #1 fan. So there it is. There's a shout out. Make it happen. Prove it.
She's on the clock.
Yeah, 10 minutes. It is now.
All right.
What time is it? It is now 8:44.
Does she
We
listen to
haven't
us
seen
live?
Don in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Yep. Live. Yep.
Yeah, Don.
I'd say we haven't seen Don in a couple weeks, so it might be Jaeger now if she doesn't respond in 10 minutes.
Yep.
Mhm.
Everybody wants to be our #1 fan, so
It's a
clock's
coveted
running.
spot. Clock's running. Oh shit! Well, we'll hop into it since we got a little bit that we need to discuss here. Trivia question: what are the two mascots used in the Army-Navy game? Because that will be played this Saturday.
Like, what are the Army mascot and Navy's mascot?
No, because we know it's like the Army Black Knights and the Navy Midshipmen, but they actually have like mascots that are at the game. What are the two
One is
mascots?
One's a goat.
Okay, you got one of them.
I think the other one is a ram. No,
a ram. It's not a ram. Clark, what
Got
do
to
you
be
think?
an eagle, right?
Eagle, no.
I was gonna guess something like a tank and a battleship, but
no, it's. I know 100% one of them's a goat.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'll spoil one of the slides for later when we actually talk about a game. But you were right, Trent. It is a one of them is going to be a goat, but the other one is a mule. It's the Army mule. Look at how jacked that mule is.
That's all.
He's been doing crunches. That's all I got to say.
If you follow TikTok at all, he reminds me of the guy who thirst traps women and he chops logs. I don't know why he's on my For You page, but he's on there all the time and I love it. So
I think we all know he's on your page.
Go ahead.
I had to do some research because whenever I was in here making sure I was on topic for tonight, I saw that and I'm like, what kind of mascots? Like, what is their mascots? And it was like, I looked it up. Army's the Black Knights, Navy's the Midshipmen. It's like, okay. But then it like immediately upon looking for their mascots, it had the answer to your trivia question. And it's like a whole prisoner exchange thing before the game, and like a huge old tradition with like Navy stealing Army's mules like way back hundreds of years ago. And like they continue to just kind of carry this on. So
yeah, I would be the one person to come up with an innocent trivia question that is also about probably the biggest controversial sports thing, political thing, geopolitical of the whole day. When I'm talking innocent goats and mules, and we're talking about prisoner exchange now. Jesus.
I wasn't even going there. I was just saying it's a thing for the game. They do it every year.
Interesting.
Now, if you watch Game Day on Saturday, I guarantee you it'll be mentioned 37 times that Lee Corso was a coach at Navy. 37 over under.
And you're just supposed to like you're supposed to act so shocked. Just what? Yeah.
My first time watching Game Day. I didn't know.
It's the Ryan Tannehill of College Game Day.
I was just gonna say every fucking time he hits the field. So
Yep, that and the only thing more annoying than that was when Lou Holtz was still doing his show with Mark May. And they would talk about him being Notre Dame's coach for the national championship. Literally every single episode. It's like, I don't give a flying fuck, man. I don't care about you. Shut up.
What do you mean you don't give a flying
coach? The coach for Notre Dame.
It's my family. I can't do a Brian Kelly, Lou Holtz.
Oh my god! It's
he won the national championship for Notre Dame.
If we ever talk Lou Holtz, we're just gonna let Trent go. That's the best impression I've ever heard of Lou Holtz. Notre Dame. Oh fuck. Well, I wanted to before we touch I just want to go over the conference games quickly. If you guys had any extra thoughts, but at the beginning of the summer and the last 2 years, I would say you've heard us complaining about it. Trust me, we're very vocal about it. But everyone's been talking about how the Big 12 is dead. No one wants to play it. Pac-12 is more valuable. So they actually just came out with these stats here that I'm throwing onto the screen, and this is the viewership, which doesn't shock anyone. Surprise, SEC, Big 10, 1 and 2 with over 10.5 million viewers. Right behind that is the only top 10 matchup of last weekend, Kansas State and TCU. They had just shy of 9.5 million, and then after that, Utah USC in primetime Friday, the only game that they were playing, had less than 6 million. And then it's unfair. Clemson, North Carolina were playing at the same time, I think, as Big Ten. So they had 3.47, which I don't know how much more they would have really gotten if they weren't competing against the Big Ten. But I just thought that was really interesting and wanted to show those stats because everyone insisted the Big 12 is dead. The new Big 12, they're not going to survive without Oklahoma, Texas. And when neither of them were playing in the conference championship game, we are a little over 1 million shy of the Big Ten, which is, I mean, we're the consensus number 3 with ease. I thought that was incredible.
Right. Yeah, and that ACC game, the other reason that it didn't score very high, it's the only one that didn't have playoff implications, really. So, yeah.
True.
Fuck you guys, Pac-12.
Man, Clemson fumbled that bag so hard by if they would have only lost to Notre Dame, they would have been just fine. They would have been in, not even a controversy. Oh, should we change it to this one instead so the logo isn't blocking you?
No,
I didn't even notice until.
way.
Yeah, I like it the other way. I didn't even notice until Dave said something.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I do like around the logo there. Little, oh. Oh fuck! Well, we'll get that graphic out there so we can see that beautiful face here, Joey. But we'll kind of run down the line here of the games here. Utah just smacked USC 47-24. Second win of the season over USC over them. I think the biggest headlines for this game weren't the actual game. It was Caleb Williams crying and Caleb Williams having "fuck Utah" on his fingernails, and everyone just going to town on him crying.
Yeah, so I was pretty excited for that game on Friday night. There wasn't any other games competing with that, so I had it on. USC went up real quick, and Utah came back, and I turned it over to the rodeo. The National Finals rodeo is going on right now, so I'm just all week rodeoing. Flipped it back, and USC was getting their ass whooped. So did not see that coming. I was hoping USC would win that game to get into the playoff. But yeah, did you see Utah's social media? They had a close-up of Caleb Williams' hands on the ball. It just said, instead of "fuck Utah," it said "back to back" on his fingernails.
Yes.
Utah is now the back-to-back Pac-12 champions. Good for them. Good for them.
I love that social media is really starting to give the "I don't give a fuck" mode, because it makes so many good between rivalries. I mean, the best one so far, and just biased Big 12 fan, TCU's had the best social media all year. They make really weird, crazy like TikTok videos. They're just like, it's supposed to be sporadic and all over the place. And I've just thought they've been fucking hilarious the whole time. But yeah, the back-to-back really fucking giving them the business, I thought was awesome. But
yeah.
I don't think there's anything else on this one. Like I said, if the only thing I was going to mention was only Oklahoma fans saw Lincoln Riley have a team primed for the playoffs and then shit the bed in prime time. That Oklahoma fans fucking probably made so much money betting against him in this game. Insane.
Yes. Yep.
So, but next, the best game of the day, the only top 10 matchup of the day, because the best two teams in the conference played.
I'll say one more thing about USC.
Yeah.
Do you remember who they played the week before? God, I can't remember off the top of my head.
UCLA or Notre Dame?
It was UCLA, because I watched the UCLA game. I feel like Caleb Williams was just trying to do too much. Like, he was trying to have his Heisman moment. And UCLA, it worked out. Notre Dame, it worked out. Like, they won those games. But it just did not work out in the Utah game. Like, I felt like he would sit there in the pocket, wait for the pocket to collapse, and then try to scramble and make this amazing throw on the run to make his Heisman moment. And like, it just ran out versus Utah. I felt like he was trying to do too much.
Speaking of the UCLA USC game and the Cyhawk that we're watching, we need to see more rivalry games that are just the primary colors. It looks so fucking cool to see the red and black on the excuse me, on the in the basketball game there, and then the UCLA blue and then USC reds in the football game.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we'll jump into so Clark can give his take, since he's been right about them all year. Kansas State avenged they avenged their earlier season loss to beat TCU 31-28 in overtime. Will Howard's a beast, dude.
It's amazing. Stephanie is out of time.
Out of our 4 fans, you just dropped down to 5th.
Trent has not put up with shit tonight.
I love it. Trent laying down the fucking law.
Damn, sorry.
So Yeah, K-State, they start Howard, played great. Just played amazing. Like, had a great day. I feel like it was maybe the best game of the weekend. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it from both sides. I had a little family rooting for K-State, so it was a good time.
Yeah, I think it was a lot more physical than people expect out of the Big 12. People are still thinking of us with the high air raid offenses, but Max Duggan, I don't know if he wins the Heisman, but if he would have, I think this was the game that would have cemented it. I mean, he literally was giving it all in on the game. I mean, it was like if you remember from the 90s, I think, the Byron Leftwich, he was threw the ball and then it was basically getting carried to the next huddle. That's what it reminded me.
Broken leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Duggan, he gave it everything, especially in the second half of the fourth quarter where they needed a touchdown, and he ran literally every play and ran for 75 yards. He was just gassed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's why they didn't QB sneak that at the end? That's the only thing I can think of, because they were so fucking close.
Yeah. Yeah, they needed a touchdown. I mean, yeah, that sucks. I wanted TCU to win that game, but Duggan, man, the effort that he put forth was amazing.
Right.
Yeah. I'll be honest, after I watched that game, there's the 5% chance where I'm TCU's getting kicked out. This is just Big 12 fucking again. And then I was like, if they kick out the number 3 seed for a 3-point loss in overtime versus a team they've already beat. So they've beaten everyone they played this year. They also only lost once. I would have rioted, I guess. Would have gotten my pitchforks, I guess, and walked to whatever the hell that hotel is in Fort Worth. But no, they did the right thing. TCU made it, and we'll touch on that in a little bit as well. But
I can only imagine the amount of Big Ten hate we would have heard tonight. So I'm glad that the committee got it correct.
It would have made my Joe Burrow hate look like child's play.
Yeah, I would have probably not been on this one.
Yeah,
even if I could have rubbed it in that the Hawkeyes are up almost 20.
Right, dude. That is. I mean, again, think about. I told my Iowa fans earlier. This is the best case scenario with Chris Murray out. You got the built-in excuse, and then if you win, you can only say what would have happened if our best player would have played. So
right. I will take 2 team wins all the time. The girls did it last night, or the women did it last night, I should say, and then the men are doing it tonight. So yeah, I'll take those Hamiltons, whatever you and Trent want to pay up. So
I'll send the Hamilton by the end. Don't you worry, my friend. But no, I would say just to touch the basketball game, it's just one of those. I think we were at 1 for 16 and 3-pointers. I mean, who the fuck ever shoots 5.5 from 3? Yeah, I mean, it's just terrible. And then as far as Iowa, who the hell shoots 12 of 21 on threes? And it's multiple people's first make of the year.
Right. Yeah. As soon as I turned it on, because I took a nap right before we jumped on here so that I can get enough sleep for tomorrow morning, and I turned it on and I'm like, oh shit, Patrick McCaffrey's making threes. What the fuck's going on? So good stuff.
12 of 23 from 3, and Iowa State is 3 of 20. So you're not going to win many games, but also our defense hasn't been there either. I mean, and some of those threes you can't play defense on some of that, but I mean, it's just, that's not the Iowa State team we've seen forever. But no excuse, Iowa won this game. They're usually the losers say we lost it. No, this was Iowa State fucking just pounded it.
So I heard Iowa State's been in big foul trouble all game too. So actually one of the Twitter people that I follow said, and Christian McCaffrey just got fouled by the guy in the stained shirt. So
they were I think 4 of our starters had at least 2, and Osuni had 3. So damn. I mean it again, but we've also been kind of doing the Fran thing of playing 8 to 10 deep all year. So the next guy up should be able to compete, and it just couldn't make it happen. And when you're down 20, that's pretty tough to make any momentum go your way at that point.
Yeah, I feel like what little I saw, Iowa State's down by 20. They try to make up all 20 points on one possession. It's just too much. They can't do it.
Right.
Steph just replied, Trent.
Yeah, well, okay, she just went from 5th out of 4 fans to 3rd because the 10-minute window had elapsed. I'm sorry. I mean, we decided on 10 minutes earlier at the bar.
15 minutes. You're late.
Right. Those are the rules. The SEC. Now we're going back to college football. SEC championship. Georgia goes by their number 1. Beat LSU 50-30. I mean, I didn't really watch too much of it because it was a boring game. Because I think it was like 35-7 at one point. LSU made it interesting in the second half, but I think it was just Georgia kind of Vin's getting bored in the game. I mean, they were up by so much at that point, and so I don't know that one. It featured Heisman finalist Stetson Bennett, so we all got to watch that amazing talent play.
I saw a cool stat today. 2016, Lamar Jackson wins the Heisman Trophy. 2022, Stetson Bennett is a Heisman finalist. Both were born in 1997.
Hold on, not to one up you here, Joey. I did have this one as well that I'm going to share on the screen. So it's same thing. Lamar. Oh, geez, can't really read it there. Lamar Jackson, Heisman finalist 2016. Kyler Murray, 2018. I'll switch it so they can see it, Joey. 2019, Joe Burrow won the Heisman. Stetson Bennett is a finalist. They're all 25 years old.
I was just trying to read the screen. I can't see it around the graphic.
You have to look around the graphic. Okay.
Yeah. So no, just insane. I forgot how old he is. And let's be real honest. I don't think he deserves to be in the Heisman finalist. I think there's plenty of others that you could have substituted in there. And it kind of, gives everyone the impression all it is the best quarterback, or the quarterbacks of the best teams for the Heisman, not necessarily the best players anymore.
Right. They should have had at least a different like Michael Penix should have been in there, or someone else that had amazing stats or something. But yeah, whatever. Oh, thanks for the money, Trent. I appreciate it.
I just Venmo'd you.
I think Hendon Hooker should have, because yes. I think he's probably the one that should have jumped in, and you can make the arguments for I read Penix, Bo Nix, Blake Corum. We talked about him until he just got injured, and then it's after the Ohio State game, he fell off the face of the earth because they dominated without him. So
could have went with B. John Robinson, one of those guys. Yeah,
Corey Taylor.
Yeah, Corey Taylor.
Thank you, Clark.
The guy from
See, all I have to do is say Travis Kelce is the greatest tight end of all time, and Clark's forever in my corner.
Hey,
I love
it. It's reciprocal, Joey. Just remember, what comes around goes around.
But this is the question, Clark. Clark, you want a punter that couldn't even win the Ray Guy Award to win the Heisman?
Wasn't even a finalist. Wasn't even a fucking semi-finalist. God damn it!
What a bum.
But no, I'm just kidding. Rigged. The election's rigged here.
Yeah.
Purdue can't be spoiler makers. Loses to Michigan 43-22. I mean, Michigan did what they're supposed to. Any further elaboration on that one, Joey?
Not really. It was just it was kind of like the Georgia LSU game. Michigan got up big, and it was just kind of downhill from there. So, yeah, it was a good game,
fake,
like you said.
Sorry, the fake flea flicker was sweet.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Oh, I guess I didn't see that.
So they handed the ball off. The running back stops, turns around, fake flea flicker, and then runs.
Oh, nice.
It was a pretty sweet play.
I did not see that. I must have been getting a beer or checking the smoker or something.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it didn't score a touchdown or anything, Joey. It just looked cool as they lost by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I was at my company Christmas party. That's why. Yeah, I was just checking scores. I didn't watch it at all. That's why. Okay. That makes more sense.
Well, it makes more sense. Well, and also, you also knew it was going to happen anyways.
Right.
So, did anyone watch even the ACC one? I didn't even. I turned it. It was the 39-10. I think by the time I finally turned, and I just had no interest. That freshman Klubnik, though, he's going to be a problem. I had bet UNC money line plus 7.5. Had I known that freshman was going to just play a majority of the game, I would have flipped it immediately. He can get it done. DJ, who's now in the transfer portal, I mean, I don't know what happened, how he regressed so bad, but that freshman's going to be a star, and I hate it because Clemson's going to be just immediately back again.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought DJ Ungalele was like supposed to be the next Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he was the number 1 quarterback coming out in his class, and
was he? I think him and Bryce Young same class.
Are they the same? I don't know. Yeah. I could be wrong on that.
Because I was reading an article about old Daniels from KU. They're all from Southern California playing high school ball. DJU, Bryce Young. Bryce Young and DJU are the top 2 recruits coming out of Southern California. So I was thinking they were the same class, but I might be wrong.
Is that underdog Bryce Young?
Yes, that one.
Always been an underdog.
Yeah. Always. Even whenever he was being recruited by Alabama when he's in middle school.
Yeah,
exactly.
I heard they're actually going to make a movie, kind of like Rudy, except more of an underdog about Bryce Young's career, how he had to fight through adversity at Mater Dei as he was a starting quarterback, and how he had to fight through 1 year of an NFL quarterback in front of him before he started for a couple years, and he had NFL wide receivers around him. I mean, the guy has just fought in tooth and nail the whole time. True underdog.
Speaking of Rudy, he was a player under me at the Notre Dame. Big underdog playing defensive end.
You're sneaking into a little bit of what?
I don't have as much spit in my mouth as Lou Holtz.
Yeah. Get some more Busch Light in there, and then answer that
a little bit.
Montana.
Joe Montana was the quarterback when I won the national championship.
Joe Montana. I can't do it.
It's also eerily similar to Shelley Marsh. So,
yeah. Randy. Oh fuck! But after the conference championship games, we finally have our 4 finalists here, and we're late to it, so we'll speed through it. But Georgia number 1, Michigan number 2, TCU number 3, Ohio State number 4, Alabama left out at 5. What do you guys think on that? Do you think they should have been? Do you think they had a chance, or do you think they got it right?
Got it right.
I mean, I think Bama should have been in just because of what Nick Saban did, going on Fox and begging, trying to plead his case, get everyone in there. No, fuck Alabama. God.
That was. I mean, as being a Cyclone fan and everyone tell me about what little brother energy is and everything else, that might have been the most pathetic I've ever seen. Not only Nick Saban, but the Alabama program, where you have to beg and plead and cry on national television about why you deserve to be in the playoffs. That was, you got 2 losses, man. If you were on the inside looking out, would you go, I think that 2-loss team deserved it. You know what Nick Saban would have said, and all Alabama fans would have said? Win your fucking games. So I have no problem with, it was only 4 points. Well, I guess you should have scored 5 more points then, I guess, or 6 more points. It doesn't matter. You lost the game. You move on. You put on your big boy pants and get over it.
You know who else is in? Sex-69.fun is in our chats.
Yeah.
Hot girls here, baby.
Lou Holt's going to click on sex69.fun.
I was worried that the sex was going to be too serious by the sex bot, but then they put .fun at the end. So now I know it's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
I really need to know what we are hashtagging on this stuff. It's got to be the amateur part now, because they don't show up on any of our other podcasts. Just this one.
I just put in hashtag good hard balls, and I guess maybe that's what. I mean, I'm talking about footballs. We overinflate them in college, I think. So
maybe it's the oh shit! I had a joke and lost it. So that was fucking stupid. Never mind. Cool beans,
dude. But opening lines, I didn't get the over-unders in this, but I think Georgia opened as a 7-point favorite versus Ohio State, and then Michigan is a 9.5-point favorite versus TCU. Do you guys think? Because the new big one is that Georgia gets screwed because they get the tougher matchup rather than playing TCU. Do you think that is true, or do you think it's fair with how they seeded it?
Yes.
I don't. Yeah, I like how they seeded it. I don't think a team that didn't make their conference championship should have leapfrogged the Horned Frogs here,
I agree.
and and benefited from not playing, and TCU gets punished for playing in their conference championship.
So, does anybody else think Ohio State's got a chance here?
If you go by the way everyone talked about them at the beginning of the season, they were the most talented team in the nation. So I think they have the talent to compete with Georgia. I just don't think they have the game plan put it together yet. So no, I don't.
I feel like Ohio State would be better prepared for this than Georgia is. Like, Georgia's not really been tested all year.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the other knock on Ohio State was they've only really played two good teams in Penn State and Michigan.
That's two more than Georgia.
That's true.
Hey, Georgia had to play Missouri at one point, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Probably
Forgot
had to play
about that.
Vanderbilt too at some time.
So I would say from Georgia's actual tough games, I think they had Tennessee, didn't they? I mean, they
Right.
just beat LSU. Oregon.
That was a rain game.
Rain game. Oregon at the
Tennessee was a
beginning of
rain
the
game.
year. Yeah, I mean, otherwise it's just your typical SEC. I mean, there's like every conference, you got your kind of bottom feeders and mid tier, but when you're Georgia and the clear number one, I don't think you should be winning those games like that.
Why are we not talking about Kentucky being a hard team? I mean, they're playing Iowa. That should be a clash of the Titans there. So, yeah, I think Kentucky's got to be put in that as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Can we talk about that Sports Illustrated article that I sent you guys today?
Sure.
Like 41 most watchable.
Yeah, every bowl ranked most watchable. So it starts at 41 or whatever, and I'm like scrolling through them kind of quick, and I get to like inside the top 10, and I'm like, I never saw the Iowa Kentucky game. Like, I must have just missed it. What? It's number one?
Yeah. What was
The
it?
most
Because of like
watchable?
because it was a rematch?
I don't know. No, I just sent, because David sent me that on Facebook, and I just said, did an Iowa grad write this?
Yeah.
Man,
Well,
I
if there's a
just
lot of
remembered that
misspellings,
was a
yeah.
rematch.
Yeah, from last year.
Oh shit! I love your hat, Clark. Sew that up there real quick.
Clark's ready to go for
Nice.
the playoffs.
Yeah.
Clark is ready.
You know, a little
I was in my
TCU
closet.
love there.
And I forgot I had all these hats from back when I used to go to the College World Series every year. We'd pick a team, buy a hat.
Oh yeah. No, Clark, I can already tell you fit a little too natural in the backward hat community. Yeah, that was your look back in the college days, wasn't
He's
it?
got the right shaped
This
head.
was my look for like the first few years being here in Newton. So like
Yeah.
up until probably the past handful of years, I was always wearing a hat.
Do you got a Cal State Fullerton in there?
I do not. Somebody else has always picked them years I've been. I've had
Mhm.
Arkansas a couple years. I've got a Texas A&M, a Mississippi State,
Okay.
a
Solid.
Vandy.
Ooh, Vandy, solid.
But you don't
Good
have
baseball
UCSB Gauchos.
No, Trent-
you picked me up that one.
you're
Damn.
welcome.
Well, you know, we can all improve, right? He'll get all those hats soon enough. But let me see here. I can't remember what the fucking next slide was. I worked on these and I can't remember what the next one was. Oh, when we were talking about TCU, I just thought this was a funny graphic because USC did drop out here. These are all the number 4 seeds that are top 4 that dropped out. Look at all of the losses by USC, Georgia's, a couple others, Iowa at the bottom, and then TCU, the only team that ever won and dropped out of the top 4. Just
Yep.
I just classic Big 12 there. But
Man, that Iowa Michigan State game I watched by myself in a lonely apartment and was on the floor in front of my TV, just like almost bawling. I was so drunk and so disappointed. Terrible.
I will be honest. The first Chiefs Super Bowl, I had a big group, and it was not a fun time because we weren't winning until the very end, and I was a poor host. Next Super Bowl, I had to watch by myself. I'm not going to subject other people to me being a shitty sport about my team that's blessed to even be in this Super Bowl, But it was just one of those, when it's a big game like that, I don't feel like being around other people. I just got to be on my own so I can yell at my couch and just deal with it at that point.
We actually talked about that after work when we were having drinks. Heath, who just commented, we were talking. He's a Browns fan, and I'm a Vikings fan. So
Sorry,
two teams we'll probably never see in the Super Bowl. That it's just like I'd just be a nervous wreck. Like I was a totally casual Chiefs fan living in Kansas when the Chiefs made it back to back. And it was great when they won, but that year that they got stomped by the Buccaneers, it was just a different vibe.
Yeah, that one, it was just, our offensive line was just dog shit awful. I think, didn't they do the math, like Mahomes ran for like 500 yards just to not get sacked?
East and west, not north and south.
You know what's worse than getting stomped from right out the gate is having a lead and then losing that to Tom Brady. That really sucks.
Yeah,
I think my team wouldn't know. We've never been in that position.
Yeah, true. So you've never had to really deal with Tom Brady. The AFC has just been brutal the last couple decades without him. But
right.
Yeah, no. First college football players without Alabama or Clemson, so it's kind of nice to get a breath of fresh air without those two in there. What was the other? I got to figure out how to do this full screen, but. Here's a 12-team playoff if it would have happened, and I think give me a second. How can I? There we go. But it's interesting to see because of the rules on how conference champions would have had to have been thrown in there. So if who knows if this would have been the official seeding, but you have Clemson, who had 2 losses, jumps the 3 seed because they would have been the next best conference champion. Utah at 4 here, who is the Pac-12 conference champion. Kansas State, which is weird because those are the top 4. They have to have a bye, and then Kansas State, the quote-unquote worst conference champion, would have been a 9 seed. But like, I see this, and my pants get a little tight just looking how many fun matchups that we could have, man.
Yeah, I love the ranking the 4 conference champions. I do think that they should put Kansas State at 5 though, but I love this whole screen. It was just. Yeah, good.
And shout out to it's CFB Playoff Edits. They on Twitter. They've got quite a few. They do some cool edits and it helps just visualize it. But I mean, look at some of these. These are all hypothetical for this year, and we'll be soon enough. I think it's 2024 when they will have the 12 team ranked. I would say with this one, it's TCU versus Tulane in one of the games. Ohio State rematches with Penn State. USC plays Alabama. Tennessee, Kansas State, which I think that, now with Hendon Hooker would have been out, that would have been an interesting matchup. Kansas would have probably been in the semifinals or quarterfinals. I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah, but I mean, it would have been a fun little matchup to have with all of these, all these different teams in here, and then it's really promoting the conference champion too. What we've all been complaining about, how here's Ohio State that is slipping in at number 4. They still get in this playoff. Alabama still gets in. Nick Saban doesn't have to cry on national television. But now they're appropriately seated, and they do get their chance, which, how long have we been saying, if you're number 1 Georgia, you shouldn't be afraid to play, first off, Tennessee, who you already beat earlier in the year. Kansas State should not even be a remote threat to you. If you're a true number 1, you should say, bring it on. It's only 2 more games, and we'll beat your ass at that point.
Yep. And I think my favorite part of that is how they have you've already mentioned the conference champion, like Utah, they jump into a top 4 seed. That's awesome. And they weren't even a top 4 best team or whatever. So get that 4 seed for winning their conference championship. I love that. Like I've said multiple times, that anytime you can reward winning makes me happy. So
absolutely, Joe.
So now that I've seen this big playoff bracket, I can't help but notice that the FCS has been omitted from the agenda tonight. After my South Dakota State Jackrabbits won handily last week and moved on in the playoffs. Yeah.
Well,
shout out.
I would say just find the FCS playoff spread. We can throw in there. I don't give a shit. This is our podcast. We can do whatever the hell we want. FCC can't censor us.
Because I follow it so much. I watched literally the South Dakota State game. That was it.
Yeah. Well, we're Jackrabbit fans, so.
Big Jackrabbit over here.
But no, I would say again, it's always I love looking at that hypothetical. Then once it's real, we'll have complaints. But right now, since it's not a reality, we can say this is going to be super fun. So,
yep,
right.
But yeah, I would say so with the playoff set. Anything more you guys want to talk about on the playoffs, or are you guys good on that?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Cool. Well, I would say we're just going to jump into the Heisman finalists. Caleb Williams, quarterback for USC. Max Duggan, quarterback TCU. C.J. Stroud, quarterback Ohio State. And Stetson Bennett, quarterback for Georgia. So it's the one thing we usually complain about. Heisman, just the quarterback award now. I don't really like that portion of it. But how the hell did Stetson Bennett sneak in here, dude? I put the stats on the board here, but just comparing it to the others, I'll kind of go backwards here. But Caleb Williams, 4,000 passing yards, 47 total touchdowns. Stroud, 3,300 yards, 37 total touchdowns. Max Duggan, 3,300 yards, 36 total touchdowns. Stetson Bennett, 3,400 yards, 27 total touchdowns, and he has tied for the most interceptions between them. I mean, I guess first, are we all in agreement that it's probably going to Caleb Williams?
Oh God, yeah.
I think it's been predetermined. That's who it's going to.
Yeah, he
He's
just won
massive
the
favorite
too. But yeah, I don't like that Stetson Bennett's a Heisman finalist. I think and I think everyone has the same opinion. He's a good quarterback. Georgia is winning because of some of the stuff that he's able to do, and I would say probably more manage. But there's no way he deserves being over Hendon Hooker, Bo Nix. We've already listed those players earlier. Once you actually put the stats on paper and you look at it that way, it's very glaring. Like, have you ever seen the meme of the 3 very mean dragons and then the one with the doofus face? That's these 3 real Heisman candidates, and then Stetson Bennett here.
Yep. I mean, I can think of 2 other people on his team, Jabril Carter and then Bowers. Should be Heisman over him. So, yeah.
How dare you say a non-quarterback gets invited to New York for the Heisman Trophy presentation, Joey?
I know.
Dare you?
I'm sorry. The Big Ten and me, with all of the defense, wanted that to happen. But speaking of Heisman finalists and people that win awards, Jack Campbell, best linebacker in the nation. Go Hawks.
Yeah, congrats on him. That was pretty awesome. I'm pretty sure that I didn't see who won the Biletnikoff. I'm assuming it was the Tennessee kid.
Ooh, I don't know. I know Marvin Harrison Jr. was up for that. You're talking the wide receiver one, right?
Yeah, Biletnikoff. Yeah.
Xavier Hutchinson got invited to the ceremony.
Jalen Hyatt won, which again, he had pretty solid stats and was on a bigger name team. I'm just glad at least people need to acknowledge, Xavier coming back. It's a really sour taste on how his final season went, but he helped it. Without him, we probably have 2 wins. We lose the other games.
He could have went to the NFL last year, but I think this year did nothing but help him.
Yep.
I mean, arguably one of the best receivers in the nation. I mean, that definitely helped his draft stock, I believe.
Does San Francisco draft him?
I like where you're going with this, Joey. Brock Purdy's the new
stoking the fire.
So I mean, look what happened with the Bengals. They listened to Joe Burrow. He said, "I want to throw to my college roommate. We have a good connection." And look at how much spark that him and Jamar Chase had last year.
Yep.
Brock Purdy and Xavier. It's Joe Burrow and Jamar 2.0 in San Fran.
Yep.
Offense will get clicking.
Hutchinson wouldn't even have to be a wide receiver 1 his first year. He could follow Deebo Samuel and then CMC in the backfield. Learn how to block from George Kittle. He'll be fine.
They can draft Will McDonald. Oh.
Trent needs to turn his screen off. He's going to be making some noises here in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Like Brian says, you can only get so hard.
Yeah, I mean, got 4 inches of fury going on over here. So, kind of backtrack. I forgot this moment past the Heisman. Njigba's sitting out of the playoffs, or has that changed?
I thought he was just out for the season from his injury. So
no, I heard he. Well, I heard he was sitting out. I guess maybe that's the way it was phrased on the few tweets that I read. But I would say if these kids start sitting out the playoffs, I wonder if they ever will take that into consideration. I guess it wouldn't be announced until after it is, but like it's just interesting. Like you're playing to win the national championship, and then your team is in. I guess I don't know if he's injured, then I guess point is null and void. But that kind of suck if they finally get to what they need to. They're playing Georgia, the toughest team in the country, and you're out one of your better wide receivers.
Yeah, so they announced that he's.
Go ahead, Joey.
You go ahead.
So I just saw a tweet that said it was referencing that it's like, oh, now Ohio State's only going to lose by 27 instead of 20. Okay.
Yeah.
They're playing Georgia.
Yeah. They announced that he was injured, and then Todd McShay went on a rant, I guess, on ESPN, questioning his injury for the whole year. So, yeah. Fuck you, Todd McShay.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State definitely needed him to play all year. They definitely don't have 4 or 5-star wide receivers right behind him to back him up. They definitely don't just reload every year. So,
Slim Pickens.
We won Bama. There we go. I like to hear it, Heath.
Ears up. We want Bama, baby.
We won Bama.
They didn't make the playoffs. Drop them down to the FCS.
Relegate them. Jesus, they're just terrible. And their coach cries on national television. So, Coach Prime going to Colorado here. What do you guys feel about the hire, and what do you think about his press conference?
Bryant, you better get ready to hit the portal.
Oh yeah. What'd you think about that? Because for those that didn't catch the speech, he brought the team into the team meeting. He kind of did his introductions, and he basically said, I'm here. I'm bringing my son with me. He said that his son was the starter, but he's going to have to earn it. And then he said, y'all better start hitting the transfer portal.
And he told Shedeur to stand up, and he's like, that's your quarterback. He's got to earn it, but that's your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they all hit the transfer portal.
Yeah. Yep. And he's bringing his luggage, and they're all Louis.
They're all Louis.
God.
Mm-hmm. Clark, what'd you think on the whole telling the kids to hit the portal?
Deion Sanders is a douchebag.
Oh, dang! Think he's a big old douche, huh?
That's where I stand. Good for Colorado, but yeah, that's a douche move. I mean, come on. They're kids, all right? Showing up and telling them get out. Like, come on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I liked him when he was with where's he at now? James Madison?
Jackson State.
Jackson State, yeah. So I liked him when he was there. Like, he had the underdog mentality. He's at an FCS school, whatever. And then he goes to Colorado, and all of a sudden hit the portal. You're all out of here. I'm bringing my FCS kids to play big boy football, Division I in the Pac-12. Like, okay, we'll see how that goes. Like,
so,
I mean, I see these kids came and played for him because he's Deion Sanders at Jackson State. But again, they're going to Jackson State, not D1 for a reason.
Yeah.
So is Deion's HBCU, dream out there that he was selling all these kids, was that a farce?
So that's what a lot of people are saying, that it's he's turning his back on the HBCU community and everything. And I mean, to me, he's getting a better job. Like, you can't blame a guy for that. I mean, it's a promotion basically. But I also thought it was funny that Colorado, their AD came out saying that they don't have the money to pay him. He has to raise it. So
yeah,
you better get on that shit.
Yeah. Now, how do they not have the cash?
I don't know.
I don't get that.
And that might just be another Tennessee goalpost, thing to try and bolster more boosters to end. Now, a couple things. This is unfounded, but I have heard that Jackson State didn't try and give him a raise because he was kind of leveraging the Colorado job to get a raise at Jackson State. Sounds like they only offered him until basically when the deal was done, they finally matched the $1 million salary. I've also heard that, I mean, he pumped a shit ton of money into the school. He basically used his whole $300,000 salary to like make better facilities, feed the players, I think they put in new tennis courts. And it sounds like he was just pumping money in, and they were just kind of taking the limelight and honestly using him for financial advantage. So for him to go to Colorado, in my opinion, like you said, I if any kid uses the transfer portal to better themselves, we've all started to kind of get in the mentality of, well, they're looking for his future. I mean, I look at it, now it's a truly a business. Primetime, he made those promises, and I think he upheld it. Look at how much money is going into the school now with the Under Armour deals, with the donors that have now come into the school. That there's life into this program that would not have been there if Prime didn't go there for 2 years.
Right.
So I had to look this up because you mentioned that Deion's salary was $300,000 at Jackson State. So I had to look up. I figured just because of his name, that was like top of the line for FCS. So I had to look up Stiegelmeier's salary at South Dakota State. 306. Yep. He's getting paid more than Deion.
Damn.
Well, not anymore.
Well, yeah, not anymore. Stiegelmeier was coach of the year though this year.
Nice. And I do mention, I forgot to even say it. I have it on the graphic here if you're watching on YouTube, but he is the first HBCU head coach to ever get a Power 5 job, and he's only the second black HBCU coach to get an FBS job. The only other one was Willie Jeffries from Wichita State in 1979. So, I mean, a little bit of history there as well. So, and no offense, I think a lot of it is his name, but also, I mean, the results on the field. If he made Jackson State a household name, and I think that's what Colorado's going for. I think it's either going to be a complete failure at the Power 5 level that he can either do it, or I think it's just one of those experimental, crazy hires that could make a huge difference. I mean, Joey, what are your thoughts on he literally just went to 24/7. Looked up the top 5 at every position and just offered them a scholarship from Colorado. Because even Caden Proctor, who is committed to Iowa, he got a scholarship offer from Colorado.
Yep. I mean, I'm fine with it. Like, do your thing, man. Go out and try and get recruits. That's kind of what you get paid for. And I mean, the more you can get, the better it's going to be. I mean, he got the number 1 recruit in the nation last year to go to Jackson State. Like, if he can get any of them to go to Colorado and be a Power 5 player, like, more power to him. I don't like decommitments, but it's the way of the world. So yeah, just more power to you, bud.
See, I go ahead. I feel like this Deion to Colorado is going to go one of 2 ways. This is either going to springboard him into a bigger. He's going to turn them around, springboard him into a bigger Division I program, like an SEC program or something, Big Ten, or it's going to be Urban Meyer with the Jaguars. There's going to be no in between here.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it's funny that you say that. It could be just a dumpster fire, but the going from coaching college kids to coaching college kids, I think is going to be kind of easy for him. Yeah, I think he's going to move on within 5 years, and then Colorado's just going to have to find someone else to take that over, which is fine. That's on them. But yeah, I think if you just go by his trajectory from his success so far, I think he moves on to probably an SEC school after this, I would assume, or maybe Big Ten after they fire Ryan Day at Ohio State. Maybe he'll go there.
No, that's Matt Campbell's job. Didn't you know that? He said that's right. 2 jobs that he would leave for.
I can't believe Matt Campbell didn't get the Colorado job.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I heard he went skiing there once, so he's clearly got ties.
I heard he went there for the dispensaries. That's what.
Yeah, there we go.
That rumor, man.
Colorado bowl game. Odds of them going to the bowl game year 1.
Oof. If they go to a bowl game next year, he should get coach of the year. That is a tremendous fucking success.
Is UCA or USC and UCLA, are they gone next year for Pac-12?
I don't
think it's next year. I think it's the year after. I think it's 2024.
I mean, they still got to deal with Utah. They still got to deal with USC, Oregon,
Washington.
Oregon State.
Oregon State.
Yeah.
Pac-12 was really
Stanford.
strong this year.
Who else is in the Pac-12?
Cal.
Arizona State.
Cal Berkeley.
Yeah.
Arizona was a shocking, like, they weren't great, but they were a good team compared to what they were the year before.
So I'm trying to find their schedule for next year. Geez, it's not on ESPN.
You know who they played game 1?
Who?
If you need a clue, look at old Clark's Dome. Play TCU game 1.
Again?
Really?
They played them last year, so they're playing 1-1 now with TCU. I was gonna say if they have an easy non-con, they can get 3 wins there, and then if they played like Arizona State, Zona, maybe Oregon State, I don't know.
Dude,
They might
Oregon
get 6
got 9
wins.
wins this year, man.
Yeah, true. Maybe Washington State, I don't know, but
Cal, Stanford, depends on who.
But-
Oh, go ahead.
doesn't sound like their non-con is very easy if they're gonna just start out with a playoff team,
Yeah.
And how shocking would it be if they, out the gate next year, beat up on TCU and won that game? That would be a momentum starter, baby. I don't think it's going to happen, but holy shit, that'd be shocking.
So is Duggan is his eligibility up this year with TCU? Can he like grad transfer somewhere?
Yeah.
Or is
Iowa State.
but his eligibility's done this year, I think. So
Yep, I think he can apply for another year, but he has to go to another school.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he can grad transfer, so TCU might be a whole different ball team next year.
Word on the street is he's going to try and go to Iowa and beat Cade McNamara out. So that's what I heard.
Okay.
What
All
what
of a
I
sudden,
need to figure
Iowa
out,
is
though-
the mecca of quarterbacks.
We know where.
How good is he at running 3-yard plays on 3rd and 7?
Yeah.
Hand the ball off.
Do you know where Max Duggan went to high school?
Council Bluffs.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Good old Iowa boy.
Nebby. He's gonna go just down the road, hit Lincoln.
There you go. Him and
George
Matt
was
Rule.
taking in his
Matt
boots
Rule,
right
bring him in.
I ain't scared.
Just not even flinching there. Shit. But the question I have, because Dion always says, look good, feel good, play good. How the hell is he going to make Colorado colors look good? Because those are some butt ass ugly. It's not even a gold. It's like a turd brown gold and then black.
It's
Is there black
worse
in
than
the black?
Saints.
I need a expert's opinion. Joey, is there black?
Well, let me check the Iowa rule books, but yes, I believe it is.
Did they
It is dark
get
enough.
Iowa's permission to wear those colors?
I don't know. I forgot to send in my thing tonight for my sunglasses for my glasses, so we'll see.
Iowa fans are be coming after you hard, man.
Mm-hmm. That's all right.
Sorry.
Sorry, I can come at them hard too.
Oh yeah. Now, hey, sex bots, start commenting again.
Joey's
Joey's
clicking on the sex
As-
spot fun
As Bryant would say, 4 inches of fury.
yeah. Joey's about to have some sex-69.fun over here. Pewter gold. Yeah, thank you,
Pewter.
David. Pewter gold. Just
Man.
awful.
I can't
You know
believe you
what-
don't
you know what I
like the
just
Colorado
realized?
colors.
You know how fucking stupid we are? We're making fun of Colorado's colors. Look at our fucking logo. It's the exact same colors as Colorado. God, we're idiots. Actually, it's like we're like a charcoal gray.
I would say ours are better. Yeah, if it was black, but I like the gray.
As I'm looking at all of our name tags and the fucking ticker at the bottom being this like Colorado color.
Do we
God, I'm an
do
idiot.
we choose that though? That color on our name tags and stuff? That's
Yep.
just a restream thing, right?
Nope.
No, I chose it because I tried to match the colors on the logo here. You can zoom
Jesus,
in. And
Bryant.
choose the
Bryant
right-
loved those colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it
I
looks-
think I like Colorado's colors. I mean, Cordell Stewart, Rashawn Salam back in the day, man, they were sexy as fuck.
Eric Bieniemy.
Yep.
So he almost won a Heisman there. I think it looks okay for Colorado. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just making fun of Prime because I'm jealous of the hire. He seems like I don't know. I think he's gonna do just fine. I think by year 2, it's like a 80% shot that he makes a bowl game minimum. That he just has to go 6-6 is all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's going
Right.
New York 6 at this point. New Year
Yeah.
6.
New Year 6.
So
I mean, I honestly think they'll probably make a bowl game this year.
Man,
First year. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
Hey, he's bold. I don't know. Transfer portal, like we said, DJ, whatever his name,
Ungalele, isn't it?
Thank
Something like that.
he's in the transfer portal. Were there any other like big names that were that had been put in the transfer portal? Did you it doesn't matter who the player was. Did you see the one that said because I'm not tough and Mike Leach is okay that I'm leaving, I'm putting myself. I thought that was I guess a couple things. One, Mike Leach is old school and he's just gonna say shit. He locked a kid in a closet with a concussion, so he doesn't do things quite on the straight and narrow. But it's like, no offense, way to prove Mike Leach's point there by putting that in your going away message on the transfer portal. I mean, what coach is going to pick you up now after you just threw your last coach under the bus?
Yep. I wonder if he's one of those kids that was sitting under the tree with his fat girlfriend,
eating fish sandwiches and drinking lemonade.
Exactly.
That's why they lost to Ole Miss or whoever it was.
Mm-hmm. Fucking Mike Leach. Yeah, I mean, you got half of Iowa's offense is entered the transfer portal, so who even knows who's starting the bowl game? So
Iowa picked up a pretty big transfer.
Yeah, and it sounds like they got a couple more coming down the pipeline, and then a linebacker from Nebraska maybe too. So that's cool. But can't play in this bowl game.
Why? Kirk Ferentz doesn't believe in the transfer portal.
He is this year when it is dependent on saving his son's job.
Dude, why? If any job said, I will pay you $46 million to fire you, I would try to get fired. Why is he trying to save any job?
If Amelia works for you and you're a head coach somewhere and she's your offensive coordinator and she's terrible at her job like Brian Ferentz, are you going to fire her?
No, like I'm saying, I'm trying to get fired myself.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get that buyout.
Right.
At $46 million, she can do whatever. I mean, because she'll get some of that money, okay?
Right. Bunch of Casey's breakfast pizza.
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah. So I was wanting to share. Here's the Twitter post here once it finally loads. Here, let me maximize it so I can see. Oh my goodness. Remember, folks, I'm on a $300 Walmart laptop. Feel bad for me here. But
the
yeah,
struggle is
it's kind of yeah. I would say it's the ever-loving support, all the same shit, going Mississippi State instead. But right at the bottom third there. With that being said, since I'm not very tough and Leach is glad that I'm leaving, I'll be entering my name in the transfer portals in the hopes of finding a more fit playing environment for me. So you don't have to be tough. I don't know. I just I thought that one was pretty funny. He was fat little girlfriend. He's getting the hell out of there. I'll be honest. I wasn't going to pick up here, but since we're on the transfer portal list, I need your opinion on this, Joey, because this might not be all of them either. Right now, the portal hit Iowa pretty hard. Not only Petrus is out for the bowl game, like you mentioned, but Dia, Gavin Williams, Arlen Bruce, the wide receiver, Keegan Johnson, Josh Volk, which I don't know if he was a starter for you or if he played a lot. Jacobs, Reggie Bracy, Terry Roberts. Were those? I would say those players. I think they were just all backups, weren't they?
Correct. Yeah. As far as I know, no defensive starters are entering the transfer portal at all. But I mean, technically, the only starters that are leaving are Keegan Johnson and Arlen Bruce. But if you're a wide receiver at Iowa, I don't blame you for leaving and going to the transfer portal. Like that. No, it's just stupid. That sucks. You don't fit in there because they don't throw the ball. So, yeah, that sucks.
Yep. So did we get to the over/under in the bowl game with Kentucky yet?
No, we have not.
So I just put a bet in on Caesars today. Just someone guess what the over-under is, because right now you saw all the players that have transferred out before the bowl game for Iowa. Spencer Petras is out, so they're down to their third string quarterback. Right now for Kentucky, Will Levis has opted out of the bowl game, and they're starting running back.
Yep.
Anyone want a wild guess on what the over-under is?
31.5.
Oh, yeah, I forgot I sent the group. 31 and a half points, and I hit the under so fast it was criminal. I don't see how there's going to be more than 24 points, to be honest.
And remember, folks, this 31.5 over-under, this is the most watchable bowl game of the season.
I mean, it will be for me. I can't fucking wait.
Joe, we were talking about 4 inches of steel. I think that should be our new rankings. It's good. Joey is 4 inches up watching this game.
How many inches are we?
Yeah.
Oh man, we can incorporate the steel alloys too.
Oh,
yes.
Please no, we're not bringing those back.
Watching the Iowa-Kentucky game, I'm 4 inches of steel. Brought to you by Steel Alloy, Steel Reserve. Tastes like penny.
Awesome. No, it's going to be a shitty game to watch. If you're into defense, watch that game because you're going to probably a whole lot of Jack Campbell, I'm sure.
Hey, if you like some good D, tune into the game.
Yep.
Speaking of good defense, we're going to support the troops this weekend, boys. We got Army-Navy this weekend.
Woo! I love watching the Army-Navy game.
Oh, it makes me feel like I've done more to serve this country than when I've prestiged a couple times in COD. So it does make me feel good, like that feeling I used to have when I was a Cub Scout back in the day. It makes me feel patriotic. But for Saturday, Navy is a 2.5 point favorite, and Army over under 30. Oh, Navy at Army is over under 32.5 points. I just need to point that out. It's a full point over Iowa, Kentucky. Mm-hmm. But they're playing at 2:00 on CBS. You know what, Trent? You go first. What do you think on the game?
Like I said, I love watching this game. I watch it every year. It's all like it's just different. Like these guys are at a military academy. It's all discipline, and you can tell that on the field. Katrina, she was military, so she knows more about this than me. And I sit there every year and ask her questions like, so like, what are these guys going to do? Like, what do they do with their military after this? And she has an answer for it. I don't know. They're going to be sergeants and all this stuff. But love this game. And if you didn't know, Lee Corso was the coach for Navy.
You heard it here first, folks.
Heard it here first. So, I just like the game. It's great. Everybody should watch this. These guys are going to school to their military academy they play football, but that's not where they're going after their football career is over. They're not going to the NFL usually. So,
yep.
So your pick for the game is you enjoy it.
Go Army, beat Navy. That's what
by the way, if you ever watch this game, not only just like, again, you're watching these kids that they're not just amateur athletes, they're serving the country, and we appreciate everything they do. But nothing makes me feel like a bigger piece of shit than when they showed their daily schedule here. I just pulled up one of the tweets that has it. Look at it's just like, wake up at 6:15 every day, and not like ours hit the snooze a couple times, and then they have a schedule all the way, team meetings, homework, up until 11:30 at night, and they just do every single day. Just from a couple years ago, but every seeing this because it makes me feel bad about how I am not disciplined and how much they have to do on a daily basis.
Wakes up at 6:15 every day. What the hell is he sleep in for?
I'll be honest. I always thought it was like, from what I remember, I thought it was like 4 or 5 in the morning, but I think I'm getting that mixed up with Wahlberg's daily schedule. Which
there it is.
There's no way it's real.
And he plays run golf for
no,
9 holes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, every morning at 5:15 in the morning, and then he prays at 7 o'clock. He reminds his PR manager and tell people what he did to a Vietnamese man when he was 13 years old. I mean, he's got a really busy schedule. Mark Wahlberg does.
Oh shit!
Joe, what do you think?
Well, after hearing Trent, I feel like a piece of shit. I've watched a half of this game in my life and hated it and turned it off. They aren't competitive football games, so I don't watch it. I think it's pointless. I'm not going to watch any of this game, but I'm going to take Navy minus 2.5.
Says the guy who loves over under of 25.
Yeah, but they never have any like good players on either side to shut down and stuff.
Joey.
I don't know.
Joey, watching the Big Ten then.
Joey, these two teams had better offenses than Iowa did.
I don't watch Iowa's offense either.
Get out of here. Just get out of here. Jeez.
So,
just remember that.
If you don't
Iowa's
mind,
offense
Joey, I'm
is
going to have
worse
to share.
than
So
these
Joey's
two
talking
schools
about...
above.
Yeah. Joey's talking about how he can't watch Army Navy because of the offenses. This is the same guy who told me one time that Beyonce, she was pretty good looking, but she would only be hot if she was a cup size bigger. He's talking about Beyonce, one of the most beautiful in the world. He's like, be a little better. Come on.
That's not what I said. I said she would be even hotter if she was a cup size bigger. I did not. Oh my god. Now all my stuff's being taken out of context.
Oh,
Dicks.
fuck. Clark, who do you think's winning the game, or what's your prediction for the game?
Going with the midshipman.
Hell yeah.
Oh, anchors away.
Woo woo!
I thought Navy's battle song would just be like the boat horns, a dun dun. I thought that's what it would just do that for like.
No, it had something to do with them just swabbing the deck.
Just swabbing the deck, all bow-legged and dancing and shit with their little
like Popeye.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Popping a can of spinach.
Trent, do you have a Popeye impersonation? I really want to hear that if you do.
I wish I did.
No, somebody here, somebody here.
Brian's got my forearms aren't big enough. Sorry.
Oh my god, this is awesome. Amazing.
Well, my
After-
official stance
after-
is the Navy covers 2.5.
As far as the Popeye things, I think I have the Popeye voice down, and after years of being alone and not have a girlfriend, I have the Popeye forearms too.
Word. I feel ya.
You know what? I'm just going. I lose this bet every year. I'm going to go over 32.5. I think Navy wins. Hopefully, there's some more offense to keep us interested, but I'll go over just so it's something different. I think we all know who's going to win, but over 32.5 points, and America will celebrate. Trent, did you give an official prediction in this? Who you thought what your bet is?
Go Army, beat Navy.
Okay. I just want to make sure we have it in here so we can pick right, because I'll be honest, we're not going to go over our picks last week because we did dog shit awful. Clark did the best at 2 and 3.
That's right.
Oh fuck, Joey did second. He was 1-3-1, and I was dead last at 1 and 4. So again, Don, we apologize if you're still out there. Probably not, but
That's why he hasn't shown up tonight.
Probably.
The first week we did him wrong. Out of 13 weeks, he bolts.
See ya. He hit the transfer portal. He found another pod.
He found another podcast with tens of dozens of fans.
Exactly.
No, there's the good news for us is the good thing is not everyone and their dog has a podcast out there. So
Definitely not about sports.
Yeah, for sure. We're the first ones to think of it. So, oh fuck, we're going off rails here real quick. You boys got anything else? College football, sports, anything related?
Nope.
Well, shit. Well, let's wrap it up here. Again, we do appreciate everyone. It seems like we've had a decent crowd. Everyone joining in. We do appreciate you following us live. If you're listening to us on your commute or whatever, again, we do appreciate every listen. Keep keep inviting people on, letting them know we record every Thursday at 8:30 at night. I think we're going to keep this thing rolling. We got bowl season coming up, which we'll do one of those bowl pick'ems again. We haven't really officially announced, but we did it last year. We'll do it again this year, and I think we're just going to continue on with talking college basketball. You know, if people are going to need an opinion on college basketball, it's going to be a bunch of white guys, a couple of them overweight that didn't play basketball in high school. So that's who they need to learn the sport from.
Exactly.
Oh shit. So Joe, you want to hit him with the socials quick?
Yep, Twitter and Instagram at Heartland Pulse. Search us on Facebook, just search Pulse of the Heartland. Twitch is also our brand new streaming service that we just signed up for a few weeks ago. That's Heartland Pulse also. YouTube, search Pulse of the Heartland. We're live on there Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. We'll continue that throughout the year. And then you'll find us on all of your major podcasting platforms tomorrow morning once we get this edited and published. And then, as always, inthezone.studio is where all of our blogs and writings and then all of our videos and stuff can be found there as well. So, inthezone.studio.
Awesome. Again, we do appreciate you all listening. You guys have a great weekend. Go Army, go Navy.
Thank you all for listening. Stay tuned next week for more podcasts. Touchdown Jesus.
Somebody human hair, somebody spinach.
Touchdown Jesus.